So black comic book fans are caught off guard again by the reaction of Ironheart. I don't know how y'all still getting caught off guard. I really don't. I'm going to say this to everybody. This has become my experience and this has become my truth. There ain't nothing that you can enjoy on the internet where people do not come and be racist to you. I don't care if you're talking about boxing. I don't care if you're talking about rap. Let me tell you something. You could research UFOs. That community is racist too. Okay? I've been in all of them. Okay? I've been trying to find spaces where I could just explore stuff and just have fun and, you know, leave the race thing behind. Pretend like it doesn't exist. There's nothing that you can do via internet where you will escape from that. And that's including black comic book fans. I don't care how many comic books you know. I don't care if you know the origin of Superman. I don't care if you know the origin of the Winter Soldier and all that stuff. You could be the best comic historian and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, they always going to show you what the hell is really about. Okay, so they acting up for this movie. Why are you surprised? Did you forget that they wanted to protest the first Thor movie? Okay? Because of the role Idris Elba played? Did you forget that? Maybe y'all forgot. You can go back and look it up. Yeah, they wanted to protest that entire movie because of the role of Idris Elba. Right? You remember when they wanted to boycott Star Wars? Because of the main character. All this is based off some color. I say that because you sit up there and you think you really chopping it up with these dudes. You not. Okay? Anything that we have, they gonna complain. You remember when they complained about the Luke Cage series? That it wasn't enough white people on there? Now currently with Sinners, guess who's complaining? The same people that's being super racist to you online. Latinos are complaining that they didn't have a part in Sinners. Ain't that a bitch? With all the shit that they talk, they're upset because they don't have a part in Sinners, but they just got done crying to Ryan Coogler about putting a Mexican in a movie that was too dark for their liking. There's a linguist. I'm pretty sure y'all know who he is. Black dude with dreads. There's a linguist on here that always has to address racism with these people. He's a linguist. Okay? He didn't get on YouTube to address racism. He's a linguist. But he has to do it. I don't care if you comic booking. I don't care if you gaming. They gonna show you what they about at the end of the day. Okay? They say that they have a problem with character swapping. Then you get a character where you don't have the character swap in Black Panther. And what did the whole world show you? They didn't enjoy that we had our own movie. Every fucking superhero was white. Cyclops, Wolverine, Incredible Hulk, Winter Soldier, Captain America. You could go on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. But if you wanted to have a Blade movie, or if you want to have a Luke Cage series, or if you want to have something Black Panther, there's some people out there complaining about it. They don't like us to have anything. They don't like for us to enjoy anything. They don't like for us to be admired. They don't like for us to be complimented. They don't like us to be celebrated. But most importantly, they don't like to see us celebrating ourselves. I don't care how much of a comic book geek you are. I love comic books too. Just as much as that. Actually, most black men is huge comic book fans. Most. No doubt. Most of us. You know, but you'll find, just like I find, we can't enjoy things like no other group or no other person. Because we always got to worry about this bullshit. They tell us not to bring up race. But when it comes to movies and all that stuff, what are they bringing up? Oh, you know, all this race swapping and you know what kills me? The fact that any real educated person knows that the true history is whitewashed. Okay? They don't like making characters white. Now, I'm not really with the race swapping either. I don't think we need it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, if there are race swapping, the people that are race swapping on you are white. Black people ain't pulling that shit off. All right? So it's people who look like you who do race swapping with people who look like you. But yet you complain to us like we got some power in Hollywood. I'm telling you, man. This shit is crazy. When are y'all gonna wake up? Now, I'm interested in things beyond this world. Always have been. You know? And when I'm even researching, oh, just turn it down. Hold on for a second. I gotta fix this right here. And when I'm doing my research on things and just finding out about things, that community's prejudiced because they don't want to tell you that black aliens exist. They don't want to tell you, even though they can't deny it, they mad that they halfway got to admit that the Anunnaki is black men or men of color. You know what I'm saying? But they still talking about us, still trying to paint them as white. And we all know that's not true. Even in that community, I'm like, damn, when I found out you can't even research extraterrestrials without running into racism, I knew. That's why it became my biggest mystery. I'm like, all this can't be because of skin color. It just can't be. All this shit we go through, all this hate we go through constantly, even up to this day, the pettiness, the whining, the fucking, then they just got done saying black fucking fatigue, like the whole world never had white fatigue. Ain't that crazy? We went from black folks help us to black fatigue. All kind of shit, but I came in my mind, I was like, this just can't be because this is a lot to do just because somebody hue, skin pigment is different than yours. I refuse to believe that you go this far just because somebody's skin is different. No. It's deeper than that. It's got to be deeper than that. You don't do all this just because somebody got a different shade than you. This is a lot of diabolical, evil ass work just because somebody can get a tan or has some melanin. The same thing that your doctors is trying to track down and synthesize all over the world to use for themselves. I mean, last time I checked, melanin is worth more than gold. So what the hell is going on? You know? And that's what I just accepted. There ain't nothing that you can get into where race doesn't follow you, but they'll sit up there and talk about they don't want you to bring up race. Sit up there and make your channel and act like that shit don't exist. Watch that shit follow you home and end up straight up on your fucking doorstep. Why? Because the biggest lie was ignoring it. No. You plunge knee deep into that shit. People think ignoring it is the answer. That's not the fucking answer. No. You address that bull head on. That's how it is. Now comes the part. Bruce, how could you possibly link this to boxing? Sit back and watch me work. First of all, there's something that you should know about yourselves. Okay? You are the superheroes that they speak of. In case you didn't know, that's why they look at you as superhuman. Okay? You ever heard of a lady called Henrietta Lacks? The black woman in which they found the immortal gene cell, which her files stayed in the X-Files. Let me say that again. Her files stayed in the X-Files because you were known as the X-Men. Y'all need to go. I can't spill all of this here. This video gonna be long as hell. Okay? But you were known as the X-Men. That's where it comes from. Why do you think Xavier and Magneto was based off of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X? Okay? Now, these are just nuggets. I'm going to let y'all go dig into that. But what I'm going to tie it up with is this. if they're complaining about movies like Lionheart and Luke Cage and Idris Elba playing the Guardian or the Key, you know, Melvador, I don't even know what his name is. But if they was mad about that, then you couldn't imagine how upset they'll be about this. And to prove the point of X-Men, listen to this. Do you know, if it wasn't for this man turning down the role of playing Superman, you would have never got Christopher Reeves. Do you know who that man was? A lot of people don't know this. None other than the great Muhammad Ali. That's right. In the 1970s, they looked to Muhammad Ali to play Kal-El. Yeah, did you know that? And Ali turned it down. That's how you got Christopher Reeves. Facts. Facts. It just goes to show that they look at you as superhuman. And they looked at Ali as superhuman. So superhuman that later on in the comic book series, they had Superman versus Muhammad Ali. A regular man versus a man from Krypton. That's how they look at you. And do you want to know what that was about? If Superman represents truth, justice, and the American way, when they put Superman against Muhammad Ali, I want you to put your thinking cap on. Subliminally, what were they saying? That was who against who? That was who against who? That was the white race against the black race. Other than that, has anybody from real life jumped into comic book form and took on and took on Superman? No. But that just goes to show you how they view you. And I'll tell you what, Superman being a black man makes more sense than him being Caucasian. First of all, his name is Kal-El, which is Hebrew, by the way. And he's powered by the sun. We can end it right there. We can end it right there. We can end it right there. Powered by the sun. We can end it right there. But I bring that up to say, if they were mad about that, boy, imagine if, first of all, that'd have been a hell of a thing to see. To watch Ali walk out as Superman in a Superman suit. Could you imagine that? But even Ali know it was too much at the time. And he declined and turned it down. And the role went to Christopher Reeves. Yeah. So you comic book fans may have learned something new. And you boxing fans may have learned something new. That's the connection. Put it together. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back to revisit on this subject, but, you know, probably no time soon. Depending on how interested y'all are in this video, you know. But the numbers and the likes will let me know. So let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.